Hello and welcome to Nikolay's genetics lessons. Today I'm going to present short botany lecture and we are going to talk about plant anatomy, primary growth of stem and root. First of all, let me remind you some vocabulary. So we are going to talk about cell types, which is unit of life. Different cell types have specific functions and they can be arranged into tissues. It is aggregation of cell types that have specific function, and organs, aggregation of tissues that have specific functions. There are three primary organs in plants: roots, stems, and leaves. And stem and leaves organized in shoot. This is what we call part of the plant which is above the soil. Now let me show it on the picture. So as you see, we can divide plant into two groups. One would include organs above the soil, and one below the soil. So above the soil we call shoot system, which consists of basically leaves and stem, and below ground it is a root system, which consists of taproot and lateral roots. Now let's talk about how shoot elongates and grows. Basic growth happens in point where we can find apical bud, where apical meristem happens, where all the cell division happens, and then those cells just increase in size and elongate. So this is how primary growth happens. As a result of the primary growth, plant becomes taller. Now let's talk about stem structure. So it consists of nodes, as you see, and node we call such a place on the stem where leaf originates. So here is one node, here is another one, here is another one. And the fragment between two nodes we call internode. At the nodes where leaf originates, between stem and leaf we can find axillary bud. Such bud may give rise to a new branch, axillary branch, and this branch also have apical meristem. And all apical meristems are structurally the same. All apical meristems function the same. Plant become longer, taller as a result of the cell division in apical meristem. Primary function of the stem to elevate stem and branches with leaves, maximizing photosynthesis, and provides pathway for water and food transport. Now let's talk about stem modifications. One would be thorn. So as you remember, where leaf attached to the stem, we can find axillary bud. And sometimes in some plants, this axillary bud may give rise to the thorn. So thorn is modified stem, because axillary bud, if we, for example, break this leaf, may grow into the branch. So thorns are modified branches, or we also can say that branches are stems. So thorn is modified stem. Many people think that potato is modified root, which we call tuber, but actually it is modified rhizome. And rhizome is a stem that grows horizontally under the ground. So it is stem. So tuber is modified stem, or to be more exact, modified rhizome. Another organ of the plant would be leaf, and primary function of the leaves would be photosynthesis and water transport. And structure of the simple leaf would be a petiole. It is a stalk of the leaf, base attached to the node, and blade, flattened portion of the leaf attached to the petiole, or maybe sessile, means that petiole can be absent. And on this slide we see different types of the leaves. For example, this type we call simple leaf, and this would be compound. And let's take a look. Here we have a stem, here is a petiole and axillary bud, which specify beginning of the leaf. So here is a blade, and for example, if we take a look here, this is not going to be leaves. We call this leaflet because the whole structure here is going to be single leaf, because this bud specifies the beginning of the leaf. And those, it looks like 5 leaves here, but actually it is one leaf. And how they originate? Imagine that, for example, this simple leaf would just fragment like this. And we are going to see the same picture as on the right. And this is going to be still one leaf. It's just fragmented. And why this happens? So what is the evolutionary significance? Imagine that if there are high winds, such leaf would withstand wind, but this probably would be torn. So this type of compound leaf we call pinnately compound, and this type we call palmately compound. So what's the difference? This one more resembles palm with fingers. So it looks like every leaflet here has its own petiole. But still, because there is no bud here, but only here between stem and leaf, this whole structure is going to be one leaf. Arrangement of leaves on a plant we call phyllotaxis. And we have 3 basic arrangements. There are more than 3, but 3 basic. And the first one would be alternate, 1 leaf at each node. Another one opposite, 1 pair of leaves at each node. And the last one hold, where 3 or more leaves at each node. And here's the 3 examples. The first one would be example of alternate attachment of the leaves. As you see, they attach at the single node each leaf, and they alternate on the stem to the right, to the left. And here at the same node 2 leaves attach, and we call this opposite position of the leaves. And the last one would be hold, where multiple leaves attach at the same node. And this is all for today. Subscribe and see you in the next video. Goodbye.